Hello, my name is Dennis Bunnik and I'm the Chair of CATO, the Council of Australian Tour Operators. Our association represents the land supply sector of the Australian travel industry. Now I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but our members create, supply and deliver the travel experiences that you buy through travel agencies. Our members, about 120 of them, Australian based and many of them family businesses, and our jobs was to bring to life your travel dreams, whether that be a safari through Africa, a tour through Japan, a cooking class in Europe or a Greek island getaway. I'd like to start by saying how very sorry I am that your holiday plans have been cancelled for this year. All of us in the industry are absolutely devastated by the events of COVID-19 and the fact that none of us can travel. We know how important holidays are to us and can only imagine how important they are to you. Now, there's been a lot of debate and discussion recently about travel credits over refunds and where refunds are being issued, why they're taking so long to be processed. And in this video, I'd like to tackle those questions and provide some answers. Before I do that, I would just like to touch for a minute on the size of the travel industry. Last year in 2019, 6.5 million Australians travelled overseas on a holiday. Globally, over 1.4 billion people travelled outside their country for a holiday. On top of that is business travel, education travel and travel for other reasons. So as you can see, the travel industry is massive. Here in Australia, it's estimated that 1 in 13 jobs is impacted directly or indirectly by travel and tourism. So we all know somebody whose livelihood is dependent in some part to the travel and tourism industry. So let's have a look at why travel credits rather than refunds are being issued in a lot of instances. And this has both to do with the size of the industry and the complexity, remembering that each one of those 6.5 million holidays we take are individual and unique. The best way to explain is to have a look at the booking process. So you go into your travel agency and you book your dream holiday. Behind the scenes, your travel agent then liaises with its various suppliers and passes your money on when it makes the bookings. Our members, the tour operators, then work with their suppliers overseas to ensure that every element of your booking is arranged and ready for your arrival. Now, when you look at a typical 3-week European tour, there'll be dozens of individual components that make up that tour, ranging from hotels to tour guides, transportation, meals, entry fees and special experiences such as cooking classes. Now, all of these components are prepaid, some of them a year in advance. A good example is priority group entry into the major tourist attractions. Tour operators need to buy those well in advance of the beginning of the season for the entire year. Now, trying to unwind this and obtain a cash refund for each one of those individual components from overseas is pretty much impossible. And where it is possible, it adds a whole load of extra costs, thereby putting even more pressure on jobs in the industry. And this is why credits rather than refunds are so important. When a credit is issued, it's generally for 100% of what you paid, meaning that you can take that holiday at a future date. Any costs associated with rearranging your travel and redoing that work is being absorbed by the travel industry. But most importantly, what you're doing by postponing and not cancelling is you're helping to protect jobs in the travel industry. And the vast majority of Australians are electing to take travel credits, and for that the industry is extremely grateful, and we want to thank you. Now, our CATO members are fully aware and understanding of the fact that for some people a travel credit is just not an option at the moment. They may not be able to travel in the future, or their financial situation means that they need a cash refund at the moment. And in those cases, we're working with the customer, our suppliers and our travel agency partners in order to maximise the refund and minimise the costs. So where refunds are being issued, why are they taking so long to be processed? Well, I can tell you from an industry perspective, we're as frustrated about this as you are. We want these refunds to be processed quicker too. But it comes down to the system. Just as your car is far more efficient going forward, and has far more functionality than it is going backwards, it's exactly the same with the travel industry. The system wasn't designed to work in reverse to this sheer level and the sheer number of the refunds coming through. And in terms of numbers, the best example that I can give you is Emirates. Now, they recently reported that they have got a backlog of 500,000 refund applications. Now, their normal processing capacity pre-COVID was 35,000 refunds a month. Now, Emirates are desperately trying to increase that capacity at the moment, despite the fact that, like me and all of us, a lot of their staff are working at home. They've got massive disruption within their business, but they're trying to increase it from 35,000 to 150,000 refunds a month. But even at that level, it's still going to take them several months to get through those refunds. And by then, they'll no doubt have a lot more. So yes, the industry is frustrated, and it is frustrating. We understand that. And we are really working hard to try and fix those bottlenecks and get the refunds moving. So in the meantime, what we're asking for is a little bit of patience and a little bit of understanding. Give us the time to work through the processes, to work through the system, and it will work out okay. We are on your side in this. We understand it's difficult, and we're all finding ourselves in a position at the moment that we don't want to be in. None of us like having our wings clipped. And we understand that, travel is such an important part of Australian culture. It's who we are, it's what we do. It's as much about part of our culture as going down to Bunnings for a sausage sizzle. But for that to continue once all of this is over and the borders are open again, we're going to need a strong and vibrant Australian travel industry. Because without it, our wings are all clipped permanently, and none of us want that. So let's work together, let's get through this, right, and support each other the same way that Australians have always supported their mates, each other, through tough times. We saw that earlier this year with the bushfires. It's now time with COVID to do that again and see how in the meantime we can fix some of these system problems and some of the processes and come out far better and stronger in the end. Look, thank you for watching, really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. All the very best for the coming months, and let's all keep our fingers crossed that we will all be able to fly again soon. Thank you.